deal or no deal. From what we've heard today, Labour won't accept no deal. What do you mean by that? Is it Labour policy then to stay in Europe if you can't reach a deal?
No, look, let's be very clear. The government has said that no deal is better than a bad deal. That's wrong. No deal is the worst possible deal, and indeed we agree with the Confederation of British Industry that said no deal would be chaos. Now, the government's very keen on talking about chaos. What they don't actually do when they're talking about chaos is quote the Confederation of British Industry. The CBI has said their policy here is chaotic. Labour agrees with the CBI. We must get a deal. It must be one that we negotiate in good faith as partners. We won't be members of the European Union, but we want to be partners with them.
If there wasn't a deal, would you have a second referendum?
No, it's not about, look, it's not about a second referendum. This is about negotiating a deal that is in the best interest of the British economy, the best interest of jobs and growth here, and that embeds in our country the protections that we currently enjoy and that people don't want to lose, but which this government seems to want to get rid of. They see things like air quality as being a burden. We see it as being a protection. That's why we want to make sure that the deal we do brings all of that and secures all of that for our children's future.
Okay,
we agree with the Confederation of British Industry.
If Labour get into government and you are part of these Brexit negotiations and you come away with a deal that you don't like, what are you going to do? The government, as it stands at the moment, will say they will walk away. No deal is better than a bad deal. If you get a bad deal, what will Labour do?
Well, the point is we're not in the business of getting a bad deal. We can't afford to get a bad deal.
Well, nobody's in the business of getting a bad deal. We want a good deal for this country. The current government isn't in the position of trying to get a bad deal, but you might come away with something you don't like. And if you don't like it, what are you going to do about it?
With respect, the government's position is one that has threatened a deregulatory tax haven off the coast of Europe. We don't believe that's a model that we should follow. If we were
to go... With respect, nobody is going to go into negotiations with the EU trying to get a bad deal from this country. No party that enter governments would surely do that.
We're not going to walk away from these negotiations.
So what's your hand then? This is what I'm trying to get at. If you're coming away with a bad deal, which you might do, we don't know how negotiations are going to go, what will your next move be? You're saying that that's a point of difference. Well, what is different?
We agree with the Confederation of British Industry. They've said that actually no deal is the worst possible option and it would bring chaos to this country. We would then be facing tariffs with the EU that were up to 40% in some goods. This is something that would destroy UK manufacturing, it would destroy UK jobs, it would destroy the whole basis of our economy. And that's why we're saying to say no deal is actually an option, is actually to choose the worst possible option.
Okay, that would be the worst possible.
The Confederation of British Industry are very clear on it. Earlier today you had Jim Cherry, who was talking from the Federation of Small Businesses about the need to ensure that we have that cooperative deal, making sure that we have the skills that they need for small businesses in this country. That's what we're going to ensure. To walk away is to turn your back on all of that. That's why we've said we will not.
You didn't frankly have the balls to put country before party.